Welcome to this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live, the show which ensures that you profit from your time spent here with experts, either through their industry insights, information, or simply learning from them. And today we have Genevieve Skory. She is a transformational speaker, business systems coach, and we'll learn from her about powerful strategies on resilience, success, and building momentum in life and business. We'll learn how top achievers push past obstacles, stay motivated, and turn challenges into stepping stones for growth. Welcome to the show, Genevieve.
Thank you for having me. Happy to be here.
You are welcome. Welcome to the show. Welcome to India in this online form. And I'm sure not just in India, but a lot of people across the globe will benefit from what we are going to talk right now. We'll learn from you about success. We'll learn also why most people quit and how to win in that backdrop. We'll learn all this. But before that, let's learn a bit about your journey, your background, so that people know who they are listening to, especially your years in corporate arena, advising Fortune 500 executives and leading teams through the complexities of organizational change.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah. How did I get here? Is always a great story, even in my own head. I have spent a lot of time helping entrepreneurs advance themselves in their businesses, but I have had many entrepreneurial enterprises myself. Most of them successful, some of them not so successful. You got to have some of those. If you're not having those unsuccessful interactions, chances are pretty good you did not think big enough, you did not do enough learning. And I have also walked the corporate life. So my career kind of started, I would say, back in college, when I needed to make a little extra money and figured out how to have the original side hustle, which back then was teaching aerobics classes in our dormitory for a bunch of overeating, over drinking college students. And I associated very quickly this notion of, hey, if you can provide value to people, they will pay you for the value that you provide. And I loved that. I love that as a sense of not only business, but also as a kind of a guiding principle for life. How can I contribute more in my life? And how can I help other people contribute more in their lives? And how can I control? I'm big on controlling my destiny, big on controlling my finances and my life. And so I've done the corporate thing as well. In between some of my, every once in a while, I don't know, I think every entrepreneur kind of has this dream of like flexibility and things happen. And then I think ultimately flexibility is about knowing what you should be doing, when you should be doing it. And so I've jumped in and out of corporate jobs and have had that corporate experience, which did not disappoint in terms of encouraging me to continue to look for entrepreneurial experiences. It's its own thing, but there's so much to learn from that. There's so much to learn about being part of a corporate team, managing people. At the end of the day, they're very similar in a lot of ways, which is, in the end, we're all people with our own troubles, drama, self-limiting beliefs. And whether you're working for yourself or someone else, you really have to overcome those challenges to bring out the best version of yourself.
Absolutely. Genevieve. So I want to understand, you talk about success a lot. Let me ask you, how do you look at your journey? Is it a successful one, not so successful one? It is a successful, but I'm just putting it in that way. Or very successful one.
Yes. Well, so far we are on a peak. But I think it's a little like a roller coaster. It is like if you're paying attention and if you are playing big games, it's a lot like a roller coaster. And I think that that's something people don't expect. They think that success is linear. And if they're not seeing growth in a linear fashion versus the overarching trend, that they aren't successful. So I would say it's about 50-50 success and failure. And I have some seasons that it's more failure than success. And I have other seasons that it's more success than failure. But overall, I don't think I would trade much of my failures. They taught me so many things that were important. Didn't know at the time, but important in my next step.
Right, right. So 50-50 is not a bad score if we look at success.
It's better than baseball. So it's better. It's better than batting averages. So I'll take it.
Absolutely. So let's understand this. You talk about, that success is less about following a straight path and more about navigating the twists, turns, and occasional plot twists with confidence, clarity, and a dash of wit. What has
Yes.
been, your secret ingredient of all these in terms of success, even though it's 50-50 and it's a very good rate that you say?
Yeah, I think that for the most part, people need to understand the path of success is just not linear. And I don't think we talk about that enough. I think we see people in their peak performances, their peak eras, and we miss the whole story of what it took to lead up to there. The rejection, the uncertainty, the imposter syndrome, the I'm not sure if this is going to work out, but I'm going to do it anyway. And in particular, to me, success is about navigating that mental game, which requires you to doubt yourself and move into momentum anyway.
Absolutely. So I want to understand, what is it that you want people? You talked about yourself about a bit, but let me even ask you at the cost of repeating is what is it that you want people to know about success? How would they know if they have been successful, not successful, very successful? Not everyone will achieve that 50-50
Yeah.
rate of success. How should they look at it? What is the best way to look at success in today's time?
I think that really what we need to do is we need to really have a heart-to-heart conversation with ourselves. So I think that, Ajay, what most people do is they measure success based on standards set by other people. So a lot of times if you talk to business owners or you talk to artists or people that are good at what they do and you ask them, are you successful? What you'll hear is they don't really feel successful and that they base their success on some future event. So I often say if the answer starts with, I will feel successful when, fill in the blank, that person needs to do some work because you should be able to set your life up so that you understand how I will feel success based on things that are up to me, Ajay, versus things that are up to external factors. So for me, it was constantly chasing, and it really was the next title, the next comma in the paycheck, the next big job, the next recognition, the next reward. Like that was how I was trying to catch up with success. And if you're always trying to catch up with success, you're going to burn out. You're going to feel deprived. And it occurred to me finally through coaching that you can feel success in every moment of every day, but it takes intentionality. So for me, I had to sit back and I had to look at what do I value the most? And guess what? It really wasn't money. I don't value money. What I valued was the sense of security. But then when I dug deeper, I didn't really value security because I value growth. And you can't be in both growth and security at the same time. And so what I had to do is I had to reframe how I could feel successful every day on my way to my goals. That changed everything for me. And that's really what I want people to know. And I really believe, Ajay, now people are a little more enlightened, a little more empowered. I think entrepreneurship and work in general is shifting where people are like, something's missing. And when you peel it all back, what's really missing is exactly this. I haven't fully defined what success looks like or set myself up to succeed every single day. Every single day. So, how this comes to life for me is okay, I value relationships. Like, I really do. I value other human beings, I value connection, but I wasn't building that into my day. And so now I look back at my day and I ask myself questions like, how many authentic connections did I make today? Not how many things did I sell? Not, you know, how many podcasts was I on, but like how did I actually connect with people authentically? It could be at the coffee shop, it could be on social media, it could be in chats or community groups or networking events. Those are the things that fulfill me on the way to growing and becoming this person that wants to achieve, my goals.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, Genevieve, I want to understand about this whole success thing. You talked
Yes.
about intention, you talk about intentionality. You know, how do I decide about these things? You talked about that initially you were chasing all a comma onto the paycheck, and in that sort of a thing. So how much time does it take to understand about intentionality? How do I know that I should know about this intention thing at the very beginning, or life will teach me in its own pace? When did you learn? How many years did you take to learn about the purpose and intentionality?
It took far too long. Now, thank goodness I was having fun along the way. But, I have children. I have grown adults now, but I have children. And, and you're right. Life will teach you if you don't figure it out first. So I don't know that most people really know how to do it, Ajay. I think that really it's a conversation we need to have more of, because part of resilience mapping is getting very clear on why you're even bothering to do whatever it is you're doing. So if it's, I want to be better at business, I want to be better at life, I want to be better at health and wellness, we tend to just jump into the tactics. And I think some of it is based on, again, it's this appearance of social media, the appearance that people are doing it with ease. We have to really set back and set ourselves up for success. And I think the more important the goal, the more important foundation setting becomes. So I really believe most people don't know how to do it, but it starts with one, getting super clear on what is the feeling that you're looking to achieve. What's the experience that you want in your life that you aren't currently having? Because otherwise, you wouldn't do a business. You wouldn't pursue better health. There's something that is missing from your life. So you have to start with, well, what's missing from my life? What is that feeling? And I think you got to ask yourself multiple times, why do I want to feel that way? Well, why is that important to me? Why do I want that now? Then you have to clearly define, well, how can I experience that according to what I can control? So you've got to attach that success to everyday little things, because we all know it's going to take time, effort, and energy to create something completely new. But what you focus on, you are going to get more of. What you focus on is going to feel real, become real. And that's the experience that you're looking for. So for me, it was, wait a minute, why do I want to do all this? I really want more time with my kids. Well, okay. How much money is it going to take to have more time with your kids? It wasn't about the money, It was about, hey, in those moments that you're in front of your children, be present with them. Ask them questions. Get off your phone. Don't be available for every meeting at every time of day and night. So I think it takes mentorship, to be honest. And I think those of us that have been around for a while, we have the wisdom that maybe brand new entrepreneurs don't have. And I'd love for people to learn sooner than later that you can have what you want. Just, just, just switch up a little bit of how you look at success.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so let me ask it this way: the painting behind you, that's a lovely
Yes.
painting. It speaks a
Thank you.
lot. So tell us
Yeah.
what this painting is all about. And what
Yeah.
would you, to me, it's a young girl, it could be a young boy also, anything, anything. What would you like to tell this young girl or a young boy at this age? How should they
Yeah.
look at success? How should they look at intention in their own lives?
I think it's something you develop and not chase. And you can create momentum in developing those things when you actually focus on it every day. So, and again, intentionality to me is like targeting, it is like making that thing happen every day. So I intend to connect with everyone every day at a deeper, more authentic level. Okay. Well, how does that look? How is that going to show up for me? Actually deciding in advance, this is how it's going to look in my life. I'm going to go to lunch with friends more often. I'm going to connect with customers on an authentic level, not just for business owners, not just about selling. And when you look at it also from that business perspective, I know you're probably seeing this in your podcast guests, but people want more out of life now. They really do. Like I think the hustle and the grind is over. Like that was so pre-COVID. I think when COVID hit and people had to look at, okay, anything could change in a minute. Am I experiencing what I really want? I think what I want this person to know, this young man or woman to know is you really have the capacity within you to experience the things that you think are in the future. You have the capacity to experience it now. And with a little bit of rituals, a little bit of intention. And to me, it's like, okay, get up every morning. Do you write down what your intention is? Do you write down how you're going to feel successful every day? Are you on fire about what you have the day ahead? Or are you just literally on kind of robot mode and I'm just doing the things that have been programmed in my head that I really don't do with any sense of intention? And if younger folks, like, I wish I knew that earlier. I really do. I wish I knew earlier. I was far more capable. I had far more capacity than I ever thought possible. You learn when you're supposed to, so I'm not going to beat myself up about it, but I do wish I had picked that up much earlier.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so let's understand it. Can success be a goal in itself, or success will be part in the journey towards any particular goal? As you said, living success every day, several times a day.
Yes, I think it's both. And I think that you unlock a greater level of success when you understand it's both. You can, and a lot of times people are like, oh, well, you should just be happy with what you have, like be satisfied with what you have in pursuit of your goals. And I'm like, this is a little different. It's not about like, oh, I don't appreciate my home or my car or what have you. I really believe that life has so much to offer that if you're not paying attention to the noise of the world will get in the way. And I am going to squarely point a finger at social media and the amount of time people spend, watching other people's success and saying, that's success. And I'm like, you don't even know if that's a real person, for goodness sakes. That could be a bot for all you know. But it really is. There's this magic in life that is available to people every single day. There's this beauty in life. There's this beauty in waking up and existing in the moment that you get a double dose of success when you appreciate that every single day while you are creating this future version of yourself. And to me, success isn't about attainment of things, it's more an attainment of self. How do you grow? Where are you going? who do you become in the process? So those are the things I think that keep people winning every single day. And you can't quit when people don't quit when they feel like they're winning. They really don't. So it's both. It's both.
Absolutely, it's both. So how do I set my goals? Because you talk about that goals don't work, and then also you talk about how to make your goals stick and feel success. A bit different. Both places you speak a bit two different things. I
Yeah.
want to understand this. How do we then do either of the two, goals and success?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of goals. I'm a fan, though, of reframing goals. So if I look out 30, 60, 90 days, a year, 6 months, the question that I should be asking is, what do I want? So I get it. Okay, I'd like to have, 20,000 more podcast subscribers or something of that nature. That's a worthy goal. What we don't do is we don't back up and think about, well, who do I need to become to be that person? But secondly, in what area do I need to raise my standards? So it's not just about this intentionality of showing up and how I show up, but you're going to have to increase your standards because today's current standards are not producing the results that you're looking for. So I love goal setting. I think you have to backtrack that goal setting to who do I need to become to make that happen? What do I need to feel? In what areas of my life do I need to raise my standards? And literally, Ajay, write those things down and look at them every day. And then ask your question, how do I experience that every single day? How do I become a person who is more intentional? And then literally plotting out, how can I get a score? Like if every day was a scorecard, and it could be, how can I score myself on achieving success? And it always has to be something you can control. So a lot of times people set goals and they are not things they can control. So I want to make, $1 bazillion isn't really a goal you can control. So it's a great target, but you really want to measure against things you can control. So I will connect with people more authentically. Okay, great. So you're going to mark down every day. How many real authentic connections did you have that day? I'm going to close more sales. Well, you can't control how many sales you close, but you can control how many times you asked people to participate in your offer or your thing. Or if you're pursuing something different, it's like, well, how many new conversations did I start? That's something you can control. How many new conversations did I start about where I want to go or what I want to achieve? So goals are great. They have to involve feelings. They have to involve becoming goal. They have to be becoming goals. I need to be more of this everyday goals. And then they have to be measured every day in a way that you can literally succeed at those things. Those to me are goals that make sense, opposed to a big random target that's like, and then I'll feel happy, and then I'll feel satisfied and successful. It's like, okay, that's a hard row to hoe,
Right. So in a nutshell, how should one, what are the critical metrics of measuring success for anyone if they want to do that?
The critical metrics are, one, how many of your goals actually align with what you truly value? To me, that is the key. And I think that's why we have people who we see as successful, and yet their lives are falling apart. We see this a lot in celebrities. Like, oh my gosh, how could they? They're so wildly successful. And it's like, well, mostly because they aren't really living a life that's authentic to what they value. So I think when your success matches what you truly value, that's the key metric. But I think what you'll find, Ajay, is most people don't do the homework of how does this align with what I value? And sometimes you're going to have a rude awakening. It doesn't align at all, in which case, pardon me, this is where raising your standards come in. And it's like, listen, you might have to let go of some things in order to achieve some new things so that you can actually feel the success that you're actually looking for.
Absolutely. And one last question for you is that if I feel that I have achieved enough success in my life on whatever parameters, whatever metrics, whatever intention I think I have set for myself, what should I do for after that? Should I just stick to that place, be on top of the world, never come down, or should I look at coming down and sharing that success with others? You have achieved success. How do you look at your life from here on? How should people who are successful should look at life from where they are at the peak or walking down, whatever it is?
So I think there's two things here. The first thing is there's always another level to unlock. And it's not always financial. It's not always financial. So maybe you're supposed to unlock another level so that you can help people financially. You can help do really great things in the world. But as you hinted at, I 100% believe to whom much is given, much is expected. And we need more people turning around, reaching down and saying, listen, I can help lessen your learning curve, and I can help you get there so that you can help more people faster.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's much to learn from you. And I'm sure a lot of people would want to connect with you, learn from you, about you, be a part of what you are doing, take your help, take a lot of learning from you. What's the best way for them to do so?
I am all over social media. It is Genevieve_Skory. And I'm on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads. So those are great places to connect. And connection is one of my values. So I would love to connect with people about their important life goals and see how I might be able to help them.
Wonderful. With this, it's a wrap on this very special edition of the KJ Masterclass Live. Thank you so much indeed for joining us.
Thank you, Ajay. Thank you to your audience.